LGBTQ theme fiction had always been used as a defensive mechanism in the Western society throughout the history and the impact they had on the current society. It is undeniably true that in the current timeline, the LGBTQ is a well-known emerging theme for fiction novels in the market. However, these types of novels have been existing since the 18th century. The history of LGBTQ theme fiction novels during the Age of Enlightenment in Europe. Due to the opposition against homosexuality in many cultures throughout history, literature has been the source for LGBTQ individuals to seek validation, understanding, and beautification of same-sex attraction and such. The Age of Enlightenment during the 1650s gave rise to the LGBTQ community to challenge the traditional doctrines of the European society. However, despite the increase in male prostitution and visible queer behavior, homosexual themes were rare before the 1960s, as homosexual activity has been outlawed in England as early as the 15th. Moreover, the word homosexuality was not coined until 1868 by German-Hungarian Caroline Maria Kertbeny, who advocated decriminalization. During this era, homosexuality fell under the umbrella term sodomy that comprised all forms of non-productive sexuality. Other than that, there was also a legal death punishment for sodomy during the 17th and 18th in Europe, which made it very dangerous and risky for one to publish or distribute anything with homosexual themes. Editors during that time also controlled what were to be published to protect their market, as homosexual theme was indeed a taboo concept during the era.
The golden age for LGBTQ theme fiction literature. Discussion of homosexuality became more open by the 20th century, and society's understanding upon LGBTQ has evolved. A number of novels with explicitly gay themes and characters began to appear in the domain mainstream of art literature. André Gide's controversial novel L'Immoraliste, 1902, The Immoralist, describes a journey of self-discovery by which a young man becomes increasingly aware of his homosexual inclinations. It is based on Gide's personal experience of discovering his homosexuality while traveling as a young man in North Africa. The central theme of The Immoralist is repressed homosexuality. Gide's narrative further explores themes of life versus death, mind versus body, and the process of self-discovery. Gides hoped that the novel would be seen as scandalous, but it mostly went unnoticed. The Well of Loneliness is a lesbian novel by British author Radcliffe Hall, which was first published in 1928. The novel became a target for a campaign by James Douglas, who wrote "I would rather give a healthy boy and girl acid than this novel." The novel was deemed obscene by the British court, although the only sexual reference was she kissed her fool on the lips as a lover, as it was an unnatural practice between women. Impact on America in 19th century.
The biggest impact of the exposure of LGBTQ theme fiction novels is that the idea of LGBTQ is now normalized in the society. Many countries have assimilated the idea of LGBTQ, and even the citizens of the United States of America started to come out of the closet, openly identifying themselves as homosexual. An LGBTQ-friendly church had also been established in New York in 1980. This clearly showed that the church had no choices but to surrender to the voices of the majority of the LGBTQ society. Even America has their own proud literature work which expose about the very existence of the LGBTQ theme fiction novel. Joseph and His Friend, A Story of Pennsylvania, is an 1870 novel by American author Bayard Taylor. The novel presents the special attachment between two men romantically and discusses the nature and significance of the relationship. It has been called America's first homosexual novel and was not well received.
Other than that, the novel The City and the Pillar is the third published novel by American writer Gore Vidal, written in 1946 and published on January 10, 1948. The story is about a young man who is coming of age and discovers his own homosexuality. This novel sparked a public scandal including notoriety and criticism. Not only since it was released at a time when homosexuality was commonly considered immoral, but also because it was the first book by an accepted American author to portray overt homosexuality as a natural behavior.
In conclusion, LGBTQ may not be as intimidating as it was during the past centuries, but it is still one of the most controversial themes because it opposes human morals and religious dogma. Thus, the existence of the homosexual theme fiction novel has become a really important tool in the society as it could slowly influence unaware readers and possibly shift their standpoints on the subject in the future.